Hey Flower Tribe, it's Kelly Lehman from Cranberry Fields, and I'm here today to tell you some great Limelight hydrangea tips. So if we haven't met yet, it's nice to meet you. My name is Kelly Lehman. I'm the owner of Cranberry Fields Flower Farm here in Cranberry, New Jersey, and I love giving you guys fun, free flower tips. So please feel free to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell notification so you know whenever I post a brand new garden tip video. So I'm out here today with Lucy, my pal Lucy, and we are out here with our Limelight hydrangeas, and we've been cutting and cutting and cutting this season because we ship our flowers nationwide, and Limelight hydrangeas are one of my favorite flowers to have in my secret garden. We're out in my secret garden today, and I have rows of these on my flower farm, and I'm going to tell you why I love these guys. So Limelight hydrangea almost always bloom. It's very rare that your Limelight hydrangea plant will not give you blooms each year. Now I know some of the other finicky sisters, hydrangea sisters that Limelight has, like your Nico hydrangea, even Endless Summer. Even though I love Endless Summer, I've got a few Endless Summer bushes that every now and then they decide not to bloom because of either we had a frost in spring, or there was a problem with the pruning, or my soil wasn't just right, or there was too much nitrogen and I had lots and lots of green leaves but not too many blooms. But the Limelight hydrangea usually will bloom like regardless of most other factors. Here are some tips on caring for this Limelight hydrangea. So now's a good time of year to plant. We're in fall here in New Jersey. So you want to make sure that any kind of new plants that you put in your garden, like your hydrangeas, have a chance to establish their root systems before the winter comes. So if you already have these Limelights in your garden, that's great. But if you want to think about putting some in your garden, what you could do is go to your garden center, and as long as the Limelight hydrangeas, are put in pots and they're still selling them, usually in the beginning of September is a good time to put them in. Make sure that you kind of loosen up the bottom of the root ball before you plant them. And you're going to put them in the ground, and you're going to make sure they have water. So these guys here, I'll deep root water only when there's like a really, really long stretch, when we don't have a lot of rain and there's like super, super hot temps. So what I did was I took my garden hose, I came out here with Lucy, and we gave this guy a really, really great soaking on the roots. Also, you don't have to prune this gal back if you don't want to. This gal was not pruned back this year. If you do want to prune it back, you're going to get larger flower heads, which is really nice, but you don't need to. But if you do want to prune it back, you can prune it back. You can take like a third of the plant off at the end of winter or the very beginning of spring before you start seeing more signs of new growth. And what the rule of thumb that I use in my garden here is every few years I'll prune this gal back. I'll prune my Limelight hydrangeas back just about a third. So I'm going to probably leave this gal go one more year, and then in year 3 I'll prune her back. And so that's the story with pruning this gal. These blossoms bloom on what's called new wood, so you don't have to worry about a freeze in the beginning of spring, which happens sometimes. You don't have to worry about that spring possible freezing off these buds and then not having any kind of flower heads, which is what happens sometimes with some of the other varieties. So these gals are going to grow on brand new growth. They're going to start coming up mid-spring, and they're going to start out as a beautiful, beautiful white creamy flower, and they're going to wind up turning to this beautiful shade of pink and green in fall. And these gals make for a really great cut flower. If you cut them in the stage where they're kind of green, they're kind of pink, they're like semi-dry right now. They even sound a little bit crispy on the stem right now. If you cut them at this stage and you put them in water, you keep them away from direct sunlight, you keep them away from heat, there's a good chance that these guys are going to dry out, just like this. And what happens is when we sell our arrangements, we ship these across the country. So here's one of our arrangements that's going out now. And I'm hoping there's a good chance that these guys are actually going to wind up drying out like this. So when they dry out like this, you can give them a shot of green paint after a few months, because sometimes, even though they dry out beautifully, sometimes the colors fade a bit over the course of a few months, and you can give them a shot of green paint. I'm going to reach into my little flower cart here, see if I can grab it. Whoops. So you can give them the shot of green floral paint, and I'm going to put a link for this in my Amazon shop because I love using this on dried flower arrangements. It's made for flowers, and what you do is you basically give it a quick little spray just to kind of perk up the colors once they start to fade. So this color is fresh green, And I also love a color called Black Cherry, which is kind of the color of this. And I'll put a link for both those products in case you want to get them, in case you want to start playing around with floral spray paints, which is a lot of fun. Remember, it's not regular spray paint because that would not be good. And so that's just a way to keep your Limelight hydrangeas looking beautiful year-round in your house. So let me put this gal down for a minute. And I wanted to show you what the back of my cart looks like. How crazy is this golf cart? So we've been cutting from a whole bunch of Limelight hydrangea bushes that we have here. I probably have maybe about 10 of them back here. And we just have buckets and buckets and buckets of these blooms. And as you can tell, they're still going strong. But I want to tell you one more tip about these gals. So a lot of times this time of year, it's fall, people forget that they still need to provide water for their plants that need water. So if you don't provide water, these gals will start to burn up. And there's a couple signs over here that this gal didn't have enough water. But what often happens is you stop watering, we have some really hot, 80-degree days, and there's not a lot of rain, and it's September, so no one thinks to go out and water. And what happens is these flower heads start to burn up. So you might have a beautiful Limelight hydrangea in your landscaping or in your garden, and all these beautiful green and pink blossoms are going to turn brown if you don't give them enough water. So I'll just make sure they have enough water. Usually Mother Nature's good, but if we don't have a stretch of rain for a week and it's 80-degree temperatures, I'll usually water about twice a week at deep root watering. But you can also ask the people at your garden centers what's best for your neck of the woods, because we're in New Jersey, but if you're in a different state, you might need different water requirements for your Limelight hydrangea. So I hope you guys learned a lot about Limelight hydrangea today. I'm going to put a link for cranberryfields.com below. And if you want to ship someone across the nation our flowers, please feel free to do so. We have a burlap wrapped gifting company where we sell our flowers. And I'm also going to put some links below for our social media. You can say hi to us there. And I will see you guys in the next video.